Righto guys, we're back. Another late start, still sick as. Had a bit of a play around with this fuel system just before. So I got this, is my Raceworks fitting adapter. It's just a -6 male to female with a 1/8 MPT thread in it. So that's going to be my fuel pressure sensor for my Defy's Advanced copy. I've actually decided to change this line I made last time. Instead of coming U-turn and then down between the runners to the reg, it's going to come straight out of the reg and up underneath the throttle body to a 90. Because the 90-degree fitting which I've got, wherever I put it, it's around here somewhere, and I just dropped that. It's around here somewhere, but the 90-degree fitting is like a really long sweep, and I feel like it's going to be a lot better for clearing this stuff. And because that, for some reason I thought I ordered a right angle one of those, but it wasn't. So yeah, just having the big sweeping right angle out of that, put it like here, and it just was going to be dumb to take it back up there and around. So that's what I decided to do for that, so that's all good. The adapter I bought for my rad, for my water temp for the Defy's Advanced is the wrong size, but that's alright, I'll have to order another one, but things like that don't really slow up getting it running. But anyway, got the Ventara full of stuff I'm not going to use and got it out of here. And I've just dragged up some of the R31 Ti wheels to put on for steers. These are a lot closer to the sizes of the wheels that I'm going to be running on this car as far as rolling radius goes. So it'd be nice to get them on, hopefully it can actually turn, so it's going to be a lot easier to push around. So time to get it onto the hoist and get started today, because it's going to be a big day for the 31. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting it out in the sun with this chrome on it. I reckon it's going to look cool. Pretty keen to get some chrome door handles if anyone's got any for sale. That would be cool. Yeah, boy. That's cool. Actually, I'm pretty sure I just managed to trade Rex these R33 GTR reps for the whole set of TI wheels. So I'm actually thinking about maybe just polishing the TI wheels and just running the TI wheels for a little while, because that saves me some money on having to buy wheels for a while.
Smaller wheels probably better for you anyway.
Yeah, that's the whole point, yeah. Your car's going to be making more power and you've got big wheels on it anyway, so it makes more sense for you to have the 17s and I'll have the 15s.
Yeah, so yeah, that works.
Plus you get good tyres out of it. No, well actually the rear ones, they've got a couple of laps left in them, but they've got a lot of flat spots from handbrake entry.
Yeah, they're only going to be used for skids anyway.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, that's sick. I want to get it out in the sun. This is my little attempt at making sure I don't smash my frame rails at the back, because it does do that when you drop it out of the shed. So, alright, sorry guys, we've got to get some footage of it out in the sun, but the chrome looks really good. Pretty happy with it, and the infill panel matches well enough, but I'm pretty stoked. So happy enough with all that. But yeah, it wasn't that good for footage anyway, because with the 17s on the back, it's like full gas spec. So I'll wait until I'll put all 4 of those TI wheels on it. I might even polish them tonight if I feel up to it. And yeah, get some footage of it this afternoon or tomorrow out in the sun. But anyway, for now, I've got to start on this big day of getting hopefully just about everything in there. First thing I've got to do is take this rad out, because power steering pump fails on the thermo. So I've got to get it out so it doesn't squish it when I put the box in and lift it up. But hell yeah, dog. Brake booster is in, and that was probably the worst job I've had to do on this car so far. It was an absolute pain in the arse. Yeah, most things under dash suck, but that especially sucked, and as you can see, I've had to pull the engine right forward to get it in. It's just been a real prick. But anyway, all the lines are on it for in here. Obviously these front lines aren't connected to anything because they don't have calipers on them yet, but I'm going to work on that now. But for now, I'm just going to go for a quick run into town, and then I'll come back and keep going with it. Alright, so it turned out my Skyline did have my old handbrake in it. But I do remember actually drilling out this pin so I could leave this cable in the car. And I put a bolt through it. So the bolt's been done up too tight, and it actually doesn't allow this to pivot properly, and it's worn through the cable. I've tried to get the actual boot off the handbrake handle, but it's really hard to get off. And like you can see, this one's got a little bit of a blue tinge to it, but it's really hard to notice. Also, this one's still got the pressure switch, this one does not. So I'm just going to put this whole assembly in. Yeah, I really don't think I'll be able to notice the colour that much different. So I'm just going to put the whole assembly in, that way I've got a handbrake switch that works. And yeah, full system that works. Also, chances are, because this came out of an auto Pintara, I'd say the more of this setup I can put in, the better, because I dare say these lines would not be very stretched compared to these ones, which, you know, came out of a manual turboed Skyline. So I'm sure this handbrake's probably had a hard life before I got hold of it. So that's what I'm going to do. So I've gone to put in the handbrake assembly off the Pintara, and actually the one line that I need off the handbrake assembly is seized as. So Dad's just working on trying to unseize that with the vise, some CRC. So I'll go into these brakes. So I've got to connect my foot brakes, and then for my hydro, my dual caliper setup, I have some new lines which I'll put on them, and hopefully none of these calipers are seized. But anyway, I've also got to put on my retainer and nut for the panhard, which I now have. So yeah, a few things to go on with. So I got some new brake lines for the hydro, the VS calipers, and I've got all of the other brakes hooked up. All of the foot brakes are hooked up. Finally got the calipers on the front. So the bolts that I pinched off the Pintara, which I used for the front calipers, I actually had to cut it down. And when you're cutting down really fine thread bolts, it pays to wind a nut onto the bolt, cut, then clean up the end of your thread, and then wind your nut off. And that's worked fine. So now my calipers are mounted, done up. I just hit brake clean on my discs, just because I've been touching them with my greasy, filthy hands. So I'm just going to whack the retainer washer and nut on the panhard, and now I'm going to start looking at my rack ends and tie rod end combination and make sure that the CE Lancer ones aren't too long. Much better. Alright, so these rack ends and tie rod ends combination I think is going to be fine. So this is what they are. As you can see, these are massive. These are a CE Lancer rack end, and they got the right end, which is like M16 by 1 point, I don't know, I can't remember the thread pitch, but the CE Lancer has the right thread pitch for the rack, and also has the right end thread for the S13 tie rod end. So this combination is quite a lot longer than the N14 rack end combination. As you can see by that rack end, got just about full thread engagement there. So this is going to work, I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty confident. Looking at it on the car, just eyeing it up. So this is the R31 stuff I put back in just to get it rolling. So lined up around about the rack, it's looking pretty good. So I'm going to give it a go anyway. Alright, so these are going to work awesome. So I've got them in, I've got them into the more aggressive point on the roll center correction piece. I've got them just about bottomed out on the thread, and just by eyeing it without wheels on it, it's still towing out a little bit, so it's perfect. So that gives me massive thread engagement on the tie rod end, which is, you know, what you want for something that's going to be being abused. I've got my brand new rack ends on as well. So this combination is perfect pretty much for S13 front end with modified knuckles, or I'd say like S14 LCA, like S14 front end. This combination would be great. So this is CE Lancer and S13 or S14 if you're going to use an S14 knuckle. Actually no, S14 wouldn't work because S14 is bigger, so it'd have to be S13 tie rod end. But anyway, this is going to work awesome, so that's a win. So that's just about the front end sorted. I can't align it at the moment because I haven't actually got the steering wheel position really right yet, but I'll do that a bit later down the track. I'll give it a proper alignment and tighten everything up. But that's all the foot brakes. All the foot brakes are connected. I just got to sort out the hydro, mounting the hydro and then putting a line in. But yeah, Dad's just whizzed up this flywheel for me with just a whizzer and some, what do you use, some 400 or?
240 on the whizzer just to clean it up.
240. So as you can see, this flywheel is brand new. It just had some surface rust from sitting. So Dad's just whizzed it over, giving it a clean with some Prepsol. And Dad's whizzed the plate too. There's a few hot spots on the plate, and the friction plate, there's a little bit furry, but there's still a fair bit of meat on it. Should be plenty for what I want to do, my application of pretty small power. And it will certainly do for now anyway, we'll wait and see how long the box lasts. So anyway, that's all I'm going to put in this episode. I'll start the next episode now. It's going to be putting the motor and the flywheel and clutch and box in. So keep tuned for that. That'll be out soon. Thanks for watching as always. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you very soon.